when people ask not just why did the Holocaust happen, but an even more daring question. Where was God during the Holocaust? Meaning, if God is all good, why did he allow the evil Nazis to kill 6 million Jews, if that's his sons, if that's his daughters? The answer is, we have no less than 3 sections in the Torah. 3 parashot in the Torah, 3 Torah portions in the Torah, that specifically talk about what happens if we don't listen to God. Where God says, Im bechukotai telechu, if you go with my laws, he gives us 13 verses full of blessings. He tells you, if you go with my laws, you are going to be the warriors that one of you will beat 1,000 of them. 1,000 enemies, 1 Jew could beat. You'll be rich. You'll have children. You'll never have any mishaps. You'll never be sick. You'll always have money. Everything good. 13 different blessings that have no end. But he says, if you don't, 49 different verses describing curses on his own people that would happen to them. Now those curses literally detail every single thing that happened in the Holocaust. Everything. Even stuff that you probably never know, you don't know unless you read serious history books. The stuff they don't publish anymore. Like, for example, if you ever met a Holocaust survivor that spoke honestly to you, you tell him what's the most difficult part of the Holocaust. He's not going to tell you Hitler. He's not going to tell you that it was hard work. He's going to tell you the starvation. Why was the starvation the most difficult? Because when a person starves, he can easily lose his sense of reality, his sense of right or bad. And what would happen is, when these people starved, they literally waited for each other to die. They waited for each other to die. Why? So as soon as somebody died, they took his liver and ate it. That's in the Torah. That's in the Torah. In no less than 3 places. V'achaltem besar benechem u'besar benotechem. To such an extent that the evil Nazis starved them for days. Days they didn't eat. They sent them to work nonstop, 18, 19, 20-hour shifts. Even machines don't work that way. After those days, eventually, after working them for several days in a row with no break, no food, no drinking, no nothing, they finally told them to come back to camp. When they came back to camp, they saw a huge pot. And they smelt the aroma of the meat in the pot. Everybody ran, oh, maybe this is the reward. This is the reward for this hard work that they just almost killed all of us. A few people died on the job. They all ran. They all started grabbing meat from the pot, hot water. No, it didn't make a difference. They started eating because they haven't eaten in days. They were literally on the verge of death until somebody ran out from the barracks, from the camps, and say, no! It's your children. You just ate your kids. The evil Nazis cooked their kids as another form of punishment, as another form of torture. That's how sick the Nazis were. Even what I just told you, as disturbing as it's going to be for the rest of your life, it's also in the Torah. It says in Parashat Bechukotai, it says in Parashat Kitavo, it says in the book of Echa, which is Lamentations in English. All of what happened in the Holocaust is mentioned in the Torah verse by verse, to such an extent that if you ever heard of something called Torah codes, Torah codes are different secrets inside the Torah that are not literal. Meaning you can find specific words, specific things that exist throughout history, way, way after the Torah was written, 3,000 years after it was written, that happened throughout history. And you can find them by using different computer programs that can calculate the letters and find hidden words between the letters using equal mathematical skips. Meaning, we have 304,805 letters inside the 5 books of Moses. Now, we already know this is, in essence, one part of it is the obligations, the Torah mitzvot. One part is the sins. One part of it is the story, the actual story itself, from Adam Rishon all the way to Moshe Rabbeinu. Now, inside, aside from that, the Torah has, because it was written by God and it's divine, it has secrets that happened from the beginning of the world all the way to the end of the world. Meaning, the future as well. Everything, including today's lecture, is inside the Torah. You can find it if you know how to. Everything that happened in your life is in the Torah if you know how to find it. Everything that you're ever going to say is in the Torah if you know how to find it. Now, they use computer programs to find these letters, to find these words. How? They want to find a specific word. For example, the word Holocaust in Hebrew is Shoah. So if you want to find the Holocaust, it's Ha-Shoah. 5 letters total. So where you're not, there's no word in the Torah that says Shoah. So you say, where can I find Ha-Shoah? Where can I find the Holocaust in the Torah? And the computer will say, we'll check the entire Torah and we'll find you the word. It'll say, oh, the first letter Hey is in this. Then you skip 50 letters and you get the Shin. Then you skip another 50 letters. You get the Vav. You skip another 50 letters. You get the Aleph. You skip another 50 letters. You get the Hey. Meaning you have the whole word. The only difference is it's not like a regular word, but rather it has an equal mathematical skip between the letters. Now, people will say, wait a minute, that's maybe a coincidence that you found this word. Maybe if I did the same thing on a Harry Potter book, or Fiddler on the Roof, or any book that you out there, it's a big enough book, I'll find the same things. Here's the problem with that theory. First of all, you're not. Randomly you will find, but you're not going to find the same thing. And the reason why is because all of the words that you're going to look for, if they're on the same subject, meaning you're looking for the Holocaust, you're looking for Hitler, you're looking for Himmler, you're looking for the gas tanks, you're looking for Zyklon B, the gas that actually killed people, which actually was invented by a Jew, Hashem Erachem. You're looking for the concentration camps. All of the words that have to do with the Holocaust, all of them are on the same exact page. They're not just randomly across the entire Torah. They're all on the same page. And if that's not enough, that exact page talks about the Holocaust. That exact page talks about what happens if we don't listen to God. So it's not random here, there, and so on like you would find perhaps in other books, but rather you see that it was designed specifically and it was put in there well before it ever happened in a specific place. So you see that the Torah is not something that could have been written by a human being, because no human being knew that these things would happen 3,000 years later. And that's why it's important to learn a little bit more about the Torah other than just the basics that you've learned in your life, whether it's the stories or a few nice things, to learn that there are certain things that are actually in the Torah that are extraordinary for anybody, even if you're not religious, even if you're not Jewish. It's just extraordinary to see that there's actually a book that's available to you that's written by God. Now, with that being said, when they ask, where was God during the Holocaust? The answer is, it's not where he was. He's the one that did it. He's the one that made it happen. Why? Because we didn't follow his laws. He says, I have laws. You follow them, you get blessings. You don't follow them, you get curses. But I'm not going to punish you right away. I'm going to give you time. I'm going to give you 10 years, 20 years, 50 years, 100 years, 200 years. His patience is up to him. No one tells him what to do. And he'll wait for us for a while until he says, now we're in a situation where if I don't rebuke you harshly and cause some type of major disaster, you'll be lost. And that's exactly what happened. Before the Holocaust, the assimilation rate in Germany was over 80%, meaning Jews were marrying Goyim. And the assimilation rate around all of the entire world was very high, meaning that if Hashem didn't cause the Holocaust, we would have caused the Holocaust, meaning that there wouldn't have been any more Jews anymore, because we were one generation away from simply all of us becoming Goyim. So sometimes your father gives you instructions and you don't listen. So he yells at you and you still don't listen. After a while, if he knows that you're in danger, he's going to have to slap you. He's going to have to. Why? If he tells you, don't touch the fire. He says, it's funny, Abba. I want to play. I'm okay. Don't touch the fire. Come on, Abba. You're just a nervous wreck. I know what I'm doing. And if he knows that you really don't know what you're doing, and in fact you're doing something wrong and you're about to touch the fire, guess what? He's probably going to slap you so hard you're going to remember it on your wedding day. Why? Because he's trying to save you. Not because he wants to hurt you. He's trying to save you. But sometimes saving you hurts. Sometimes saving his entire people hurts a lot. And it's happened to us many times. 2,500 years ago, 2,000 years ago, 500 years ago, 70 years ago, and many, many other times in between. Every time we steered off too far from God, God had to wake us up. So if you ask why did the Holocaust happen, the answer is actually written in the Torah. It's just that we have to see it and get someone that's intellectually honest to tell you that. Most people are not going to want to tell you that. And the reason why is because they want you to think that God is always good, like the Christians. Christians say God is always good, and therefore I can do whatever I want. That's what Hitler believed. Hitler believed that God is always good and he can do whatever he wants, even if he decides to kill his children. Even if he decides to kill 20, 30, 40 million people, God's good, I'm going to go to heaven. That mentality is a murderer's mentality. God is good, but good also requires punishment. A parent that gives his child everything he wants without ever saying no is simply an evil parent. Evil. Why? Because the child doesn't know the danger of everything. He doesn't know what he doesn't know. And therefore, if a parent doesn't use his knowledge and experience to teach the kid, he's an evil parent. And that's why God sometimes has to slap us and sometimes even hurt us even more in order to save us. Not necessarily to hurt us, but sometimes it's to save us from our own stupidity.